Hi, so this is Cathy from Transformation with Cathy, and today I'm joined with my good friend Sarah, who we've also been working together. And Sarah's really kindly agreed to come on and share her experience of having rapid transformational therapy. So Sarah, welcome.
Hi, Cathy. Thank you so much. And I can't thank you enough for the therapy that I've had with you. And it really has had such an impact, positive impact on my life. And I just think I would really like other people to put their fears aside. And if they're thinking about it, go ahead, because it really is, you know, transformational. It's brilliant.
Thank you. So I've got a few questions that I'd like to ask you. Just whatever comes up for you. So how were you feeling before you came to see me?
So before my therapy with you, I was extremely anxious, had very low self-worth, and I knew that it had come from my childhood and my past experiences and relationships, and just life had taken its toll. But I had really bad imposter syndrome as well, which was really preventing me from moving forward with my own career. And it was also really, really affecting my sleep. So, and I think the sleep deprivation was really quite crippling in the end. So that's why I reached out to you. You know, we'd spoken about it many times, but yeah, that was the underlying issues for me. Yeah.
Yeah. And how were you feeling about the session before you came?
I think it's only human to have a fear of the unknown because I'd never done anything like it before. But the one thing that I would say is you were so good at putting me at my ease and actually even found the therapy during really quite relaxing and was amazed at how it all just happened quite naturally. And there was actually nothing at all to be fearful of. So, yeah. And I was surprised that the feeling was quite instant. I even left the session feeling different.
Mm, yeah, thank you. So that was my next question. What was the immediate realizations or shifts that you had from the
Yeah,
session?
so during my hypnotherapy session, something came up from my childhood. In fact, a few things, but the first thing that came up really took me by surprise because I had really erased that from my mind. I think that's probably my coping mechanism kicking in. Um, but I couldn't believe how naturally it all happened. And I really was in a relaxed state. And even though at times during what we were talking about, I was crying, I didn't feel distressed. I felt detached from it.
Mm,
So it was nothing to be fearful of at all. And afterwards, I felt physically lighter. And I would say immediately started sleeping better. And immediately it made sense of my entire life. And also, I could understand why I felt the way I felt
mm.
straight away.
And that's often what's so powerful, isn't it? It's often not what happens to us, but it's the meaning we attach to it and what that
Yeah.
means to us. And when you uncover that, you're like, oh, it,
Yeah.
I see
And
it different.
instead of beating myself up for why can't I fix myself, it became really clear and really apparent to me why I couldn't. And so I kind of took myself back to being that little girl
Mm,
that experienced those traumatic events and gave her love and a hug instead of, oh, for goodness sake, Sarah, just pull yourself together. So it's really, really had a positive effect on my self-talk and my self-worth. It's been amazing.
I love that so much. I love that. And as time has gone on, what other changes have you noticed?
I've just noticed as different situations and different things that I would have found extremely triggering or upsetting or sending me back to negative patterns of behavior. I find that when they come up now, that I deal with them so differently. And at the time, I'm not even conscious that I am. It's only when I reflect back afterwards. So, at the end of the day, I think, goodness, that happened today. And oh my goodness, I didn't react. I didn't. internalize and blame myself. I thought, actually, you know, I can see why that happened, and I didn't do anything wrong in that
Mm,
situation. So yeah, it's quite profound. I know on a couple of occasions I've even messaged you when things have taken me so by surprise, but it has really changed my life, and I can feel the shift massively in myself already.
mm, that's amazing. So what would you say to others who are feeling the way that you were feeling?
I would say that the way that I was living before my treatment with you was exhausting. It was tiring to constantly be sort of criticizing yourself or blaming yourself. And it was exhausting not being able to sleep and switch my mind off. Um, and I would say, like, now, it's a completely different life. I'm a lot kinder to myself. And I I wish I'd had it done sooner. It's transformed my life so much and my thought patterns so much that I wish I'd done it years ago.
Mm,
But obviously, you know, we weren't that close then, and that's what I want to say as well. I'm quite sure that all therapists have the same training, but whether or not that therapist is good at putting you at your ease, that comes down to personalities. And that's the one thing I really, really can't say enough of, is how at ease I felt. At no time did I feel uncomfortable. You know, even when I was crying, it was from release, not
mm.
from fear. So if you're thinking about it and fear is holding you back, or fear of the unknown, or you feel anxious about it, please don't, because I wish I'd done this years ago for myself.
That's great. That's so good. Is there anything else that you'd like to add?
I just think the one thing I'd like to add is, so after the treatment, Cathy gives you a recording that you listen to for 21 days afterwards. And that has been such a good tool, because for 21 days I did listen every day. And then probably for a week or so afterwards, I listened every day. But now I just used it once or twice a week. Or if I can feel, you know, old thoughts and feelings coming up again at certain times, it's such a good tool. And you've got that tool forever then. That's
Mm,
not taken away from you. And so that's the one thing I do want to mention, that I found that really, really useful, to have something to keep. I found that an incredible tool.
excellent. That's so good. And you're right, it's yours to keep. And you can just kind of remind your subconscious mind anytime you need that reminder of, you know, the new you and how you
Yeah,
think and feel. And I know
yeah,
we've spoken about this, so I really appreciate you coming on and sharing today, because there's often such stigma, isn't there, about therapy, and if I'm having therapy, that must mean there's something wrong with me or I'm broken. And we've spoken about this, about how America
yeah,
got it right. You know, it's our mental health is equally as important as our physical health, and we go and get help with our physical health.
yeah.
Um,
And also I think your mental health is the it's your thoughts first, your feelings and your actions afterwards. So I talk a lot about food addiction in the work that I do, and a lot of that stems from negative thoughts around ourselves. So our thoughts are pivotal to our physical well-being. And I physically felt lighter after my first session. I physically felt lighter, like lifted, felt my posture get better. So it really is. And I wish that the stigma wasn't attached to it. I'm on a journey myself of authenticity. And actually, if you don't make yourself vulnerable, you'll never ever change. So
mm.
by making myself vulnerable and having that therapy, it's had such a positive impact on my physical and mental health. Please don't you don't have to go around telling everybody you've had it like I do, but that's just me. I'm not ashamed of it at all. I'm actually proud of myself for facing my fears and having it.
And that's the thing, it takes strength, it takes courage to do this work. And often we think it's weak if we
Yeah,
let we out, but it's not weakness at all, it's absolute
yeah,
strength.
yeah.
Um, So thank you for sharing your
Well,
story with us. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to work with you. It was absolute privilege, and I love seeing the transformation in you.
thank you. Thanks,
So,
Cathy.
yeah, thank you. Take care. Bye.
And you. Bye.